John chapter 4, starting at verse 10. Jesus answered her, "If only you knew what God gives and who it is that is asking you for a drink, you would ask him and he would give you life-giving water." "Sir," the woman said, "you haven't got a bucket and the well is deep. Where would you get that life-giving water? It was our ancestor Jacob who gave us this well." Now, I work for an IT consultancy helping out a range of clients and in companies over several different industry segments, advising them about IT systems, cloud migration, firewalls, desktops, things like that. That's left me with a certain fondness for PowerPoint. So if you forgive me, I have got some PowerPoint, which I'm going to pop over to now. Right. For the last 3 years, I've been working a lot with water companies, as some of you will know, particularly in Scotland, and I've continued that throughout lockdown from here in Pinner. I've not been back up to Scotland for a while, but hopefully we'll go again. And over this time, I've learned how complex the water industry is. So much care and attention goes into protecting the water supply, making sure it's clean, keeping the waste away from the clean water, protecting the environment, recycling, ensuring new housing and businesses have sufficient clean water capacity as well as waste. Now, we expect water and don't really think too much where it comes from or where it goes to. Water is provided to us by some clever engineering and a lot of hard and dedicated work. Scotland isn't short of water, and the UK isn't either. One of the best books I've read this year is by a guy called Rana Das Gupta. He was born in Canterbury, but has decided to live in New Delhi, and his book is about the changes in that fascinating city and the impact on it of globalization, and of course its history as well. It's well worth reading if you get the chance. Now, Delhi has always had challenges with its environment, especially around water. And that when Delhi was effectively created by the Mughals as their capital, in order to provide water, the Mughals created a series of canals which transported fresh water throughout the city, finishing up at the Red Fort, which was the royal residence. Now, people in the city could use the water to drink from it safely, because it was guaranteed by the emperor himself. He was the last person in that chain. His power guaranteed that the fresh water was available throughout the city and provision for the whole city. Now, we live in a wet country again, and the provision of water seems obvious to us, as I've commented. I'd suggest this can't have applied in Jesus' time. Getting fresh water would be vital and difficult. The provision of water would be the responsibility of the powerful and a sign of their care for the people that they ruled over. So does this apply to the Bible? I think it does. Let's start in the Old Testament. Moses striking the rock and the water gushing out as a powerful example of the powerful provision of water. I remember that story still from my Sunday school days. It was so striking. Now, how about John chapter 4, which we started off with? Now, Jesus is challenging the woman at the well, offering her that special type of water, as we know. But I think her response is sometimes seen by commentators as a little bit silly. He's making a deep theological point and she's just missed it effectively. But I'd suggest in the context of a society where water is scarce and precious, her challenge really isn't at all unreasonable. She reminds him that water is provided by the powerful. Jacob, in her case, Jacob was powerful. He provided the well that they still used, so she challenges Jesus, compare himself to Jacob. Do you provide? Are you as powerful? Now, of course, he answered her and more than proved both his power, his care, and his provision throughout the rest of the chapter and indeed through the rest of the Bible. You'll be glad that I'm not going to cover the rest of the Bible, but I am going to finish up with the Bible in Revelation. The key passage there in Revelation 22. Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, sparkling like crystal, flowing from the throne of the God and of the Lamb, down the middle of the city street. On either side of the river stood a tree of life, which yields 12 crops of fruit, one for each month of the year. The leaves of the trees are for the healings of the nations. So in the heavenly city, water flows from the throne and it provides for all of us for eternity.